Hi everyone, Nikolai back with you again for day 2 of the IFX Expo. I'm here with Roberto De Ambrosio from Axiory Broker. Roberto, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks for joining us today. I guess first question I wanted to ask you, you were here yesterday, first day of the show. Sort of, what's your impression of the event, considering that this is the first time we've been able to see each other face to face?
You said that yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody was waiting to get together again, yes. The industry, because we are so technologically advanced, but the one-to-one meeting, the personal meeting, speaking about everything that you would like to clarify, it's completely different when you can do it in person.
Absolutely.
And we have been like idle for almost 2 years, so people are really happy to be here again.
Yes, absolutely. So
and Dubai, Dubai is Dubai. So
Dubai is Dubai. So anyway, since we are in Dubai, I wanted to ask you more about the Middle East. There's this perception that traders in the Middle East are very picky when they're choosing a broker. You can almost say that they only trust certain companies.
Yeah.
How has Axiory's experience been in the Middle East so far? And kind of, if you think that that's a challenge, how have you been able to overcome it?
Well, they say they're picky, and rightfully so. But more than picky, I would say cautious.
I see.
Traditionally speaking, the investors in the Middle East, they are very savvy. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say, more than picky. So, but they are very careful in who they are partnering with when it comes to their money. So they do a lot of research to understand who they are dealing with, and they are looking after, of course, a sound structure that they can identify.
Yep. They
want to be sure that their money is safe. It's traditional, but this is pretty much all around the world. But of course, this is something also that Middle East is even more important because of their approach to investment. And then another thing that is very important is the fact that they have a personal approach. They can actually speak with somebody, identify who they're speaking with, and be supported. Yeah. And this is exactly what Axiorys is leveraging on, because these are our core values actually. Yeah. We are very people-centric company, very young company, and we really believe in the value of people. Yep. So what we do, of course, is show how sound our structure is, which is really impressive, I have to say. That's why it's one of the reasons why I joined this company. We have a strict segregation rules when it comes to funds. We have a very strict and continuously updated risk management attitude. Some of our clients really benefited of that, and I'm personally involved in that.
I see.
And we have one of the most complete offer in the market. So we are seeing that all this is, of course, we are like a newcomer, Yes. So we are steadily starting to get into this market without, really pushing too hard. We do not believe in aggressive commercial practices. Okay. We want to make sure that our offer is understood first.
I see. Is there anything else, maybe from a cultural perspective, sort of with the Middle East that I wouldn't say that you find challenging, but something that Axiory has to adapt to in a sense?
You know what? Besides the Middle East particular case, I'm fond of people. You are my friend on LinkedIn. You might see that I always speak about. I did my dissertation on HR, and we are convinced that if you really want to be successful anywhere, but even more in the Middle East, as you said, there is particularities to the culture. You really need to adapt yourself. You have to be humble. You cannot approach a market by pretending to do what you usually do. You have to have a bottom-up approach. I see. You cannot go there and just impose what works in Europe or what works in any other place of the world. You really need to understand how to communicate with people. Yep. So to be effective, not only on a commercial way, which is of course important, but to really understand what they need. So you are effective, and there is like a kind of win-win situation there.
I see. Speaking about trading a little bit, and sort of trading behavior. We kind of know that retail traders, especially in the last few years, are very particular about a few things such as best execution practices and also risk management. How does Axiory sort of satisfy those needs?
Well, you know, when you approach this kind of topics, you first look at how the structure is actually built and developed. And as I said, we as a brokerage firm, we invest the majority of our resources in actually implementing this.
I see.
Axiory and its satellites companies are fintech, but real, made by all these new young people with new bright ideas, but at the same time with experience. You know, this white bird could actually advocate for that. With the experience to actually drive all this enthusiasm to what it's really matters in order to be secure. As we said, the trading infrastructure, building one which is really sound, takes a lot of efforts. Because you have to look at cybersecurity, which is one of the main topics in risk management. I am a certified risk manager myself and chief risk officer of the company. So that's one of the topic, or the operational continuity. So the fact that your trading environment has to be redundant, has to be kept and upheld always to the best standards possible.
I see.
And then meanwhile also developing new products. And that's part of the challenge, and I can say we excel at that. I challenge anybody. I can show them what the infrastructure is.
I see.
And then you have the trading part. The trading part is again divided in two. You have the liquidity provision, which is very important. So the number and quality of your liquidity provider is very important in order to create the amount and depth of liquidity that can support clients to the best, in the best way possible, especially when they need it the most. So under high volatility news or unprecedented events as we witnessed lately. And then there is the client part. How can we help them to adequately manage their risk? And there are two ways. So we are going down the three here. One way is education. So we are strong believers in education, to the point that we created a completely new structure. Completely new structure dedicated only to education, which is Axiory Intelligence. And it's separated from the brokerage, so they are unbiased. They are relatively, independent in their view.
They have no sort of commercial incentive
not whatsoever. They don't get any kind of commission, whatever we do. So that's to avoid the conflict of interest. And they provide an enormous amount of content, analysis, and education, but not only to us, so to our clients. Most of this content is actually public, because we believe that the market as a whole, if the clients gets more knowledge, we will all benefit, and it's a way for us to give back to the community. And then how can we help directly the client? I can make you an example, and this is on the record, so you can check.
Sure.
We were probably, if not the only, maybe one of the first and one of the few clients that seized trading on the Turkish lira related pairs well before the event that we saw, the wind swing, because we analyzed the situation from a risk management approach. So you actually try to anticipate what is possible. The fact that it happened doesn't validate what we did. It's actually the process that validates itself. By doing this, we disappointed a lot of traders, and many left.
I understand.
Because I want to trade them, and and then many left. But we kept on with that. Those that remained and started actually sent very nice messages to us.
I see.
Say, guys, you really saved. I wouldn't say the word.
Right. Because again, there was an event that happened afterwards.
That's so they saw that the process. And we are actually waiting for the others to come back, so they can understand that it was not something against them. It was for them. Managing risk in OTC, it's actually beneficial for both the broker and the client.
It's a very interesting approach, because I don't know many brokers that would do that kind of analysis.
You don't care. At the end of the day, the loss of the client.
Especially considering if we look at past historic black swan events, probably in the last 10 years, one of them being the Swiss National Bank
Yeah,
right?
I know that very
the
well.
depegging or whatever it was.
I know that very well.
Yeah.
And that was actually a very specific point because they all relate to that specific event as a black swan.
Right.
But it does not really entail the definition of a black swan.
Right, because
a black swan is something completely unexpected.
Right, this was anticipated at some point it would happen.
You know the risk was there. You know that was artificial and kept by the Swiss bank. Now, how it happened, I'm a great, I have a really bad opinion about what the Swiss bank did, but the problem was there. So if you allow that much leverage, knowing that it depends on somebody else, that's a risk. And that was not a black swan. And actually discussed this with Nassim Taleb in Ukraine.
Oh,
directly, and he actually agreed with me.
Wow, great.
I have the photo, I can show that.
Talked about traders. Let's talk about trading products. Well, you just mentioned, what you've done with the Turkish lira and things. Yeah. There's a lot of discussion going on about digital assets, right? Yeah. In a very broad sense of the word. How important do you think it is for a trader to have digital assets as part of an offering of financial products? And what do you see sort of happening in the future with digital assets?
Well, first of all, if we look at digital assets in the broad term, so every asset that is actually provided online is a digital asset, right. Especially when you go to the OTC market, so CFDs and so on. In that respect, we have actually launched a lot of new products.
Okay.
And again, like catering again for the needs of the clients, because the thing is, you approach this in two ways: the strategical part, so what kind of plan you have in mind, and again by catering for what the clients wants. But not only by defining the trends. That's very easy. You can do a research on Twitter, you will easily find what the trend is. So you can easily spot what they would like to trade. But what would they need to trade in order to trade effectively? Again, this is our approach.
Yes.
One of the examples, the greatest example I can mention is when we had this problem with oil, with the negative prices of futures. We almost immediately implemented, it was not demanded, we implemented it in our offering, a new product on oil, the all-in index, but based on 100. So you can actually manage the volatility without ending up in the negative.
I see.
And that would actually help the traders to manage the risk. That's another example of it.
Right.
And then we just last week we actually have implemented already before the stock CFD stock offering on MT4, and now we actually implemented that also through a new platform. We launched the MT5.
Meta 5 is becoming more and more
it actually gives a different approach than the MT4. The MT4, it's of course still very important. I am a programmer in MQ4 as being also programming in C++, but you can actually adapt that to MT5, but there is a whole lot of work done on the MT4 that if you have to migrate to MT5, it's not only a matter of translating. You have to test, especially if you are an advanced. So we want to provide both, and the MT5 has a different structure, which is more near to the, let's say, the exchange traded kind of approach. So this is what we did on digital asset in the broad term.
I see. Looking to the future, is there something that you could tell us about Axiory, and maybe some new stuff coming down the pipeline? Something you could share?
That's a very nice question, which actually will put me in danger. You will understand why.
We can edit this out later.
No. I will handle it. Okay. Eventually, I will call you guys to help me. Okay. I said it's their fault. Anyway, as I told you, we have implemented already a lot. But since it's our 10th anniversary this year, we really want to celebrate it, with firecrackers.
With a bang.
Yeah, so we have a lot of new things to be rolled out in the near future and until the end of the year. Social trading.
I see.
Our offer will become really one of the most complete on the market. We will go out with 3 full-fledged platforms when the MT5 is completely implemented, and a whole lot of tools in also new products, trading products, new loyalty programs that the clients actually asked us for, and so many things. And there is actually one that is so important to me. It was like one of the milestones cornerstone of my strategy, which was, as you see, all what I've been speaking about really takes a lot of investment, a lot of commitment. And this plan was enthusiastically supported by the company and its shareholders, I have to say. It's not easy.
Okay.
It's not easy to find such a support, but they still support me. That's fine. And there is this piece of strategy that is very important to me, and it's like a spoiler alert at the moment. So my marketing team will hate me for that.
Okay.
Really, believe me. I mean, they will chase me for this one.
Pay attention.
Yeah. So they will chase me for this, and they can be fearless. Really. But anyway, we are about to go out with the MT5 with a new account.
Okay.
With the MT5, giving direct access to exchange traded instruments.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that very few brokers in our space do that.
I see.
Because it's an extremely challenging process from all points of view, from the regulatory point of view to implementing a completely different structure. It's really a challenge, and I have to thank my team really, because they were working relentlessly on this.
Right.
Even though at the beginning they were not completely convinced, I have to say, and there is nothing to. But then, by speaking and looking at what the advantages are, not only for us, but again for the clients, having such a broad, pool of assets to whatever they would like to, and the pricing might surprise many clients and many competitors.
Okay.
I would say, because again, our approach is not that to maximize finances. Of course, we are not naive. Finance is very important. But it's not the only thing that drives our decisions. Definitely. That's why I'm fond of this company, because we really care, and that's the point at the end of the day. It's all revolves about that. We look at our people and clients alike. We care about them. For example, let me give you this example at the end of our interview, I think, but we can talk as much as you want. You have to stop me, actually, if you want to stop. But anyway, let me say that, for example, all our processes, all our, this sound thing was actually tested, not only us, of course, all of us here, was tested in an unprecedented way during the COVID crisis. But we actually passed the test flawlessly. But not only because of all this infrastructure, but because, for example, in our DNA, we have the possibility, so the company was completely ready to remote working and to smart working. Because, why? Not because to cater for any, of course that was one of the pieces, but just because we did it, because we like people to have the possibility to design their working environment around their personal environment. And around those of, that of their loved ones, so that the kids and etc. So for us it was like not even switching, and we could really support our people. We had no problem at all.
Great.
And again, I know that we are not unique, and that's one of the challenges. Going back to the challenges, many competitors have really implemented this.
Also stepped up their game.
I'm not saying that we are the only one, and they are great. They are really great, and many of those are here. Very good companies and sound firms. Many colleagues I know, and it's really difficult to tailor your space with this kind of competition. Which I recognize being really excellent. But that's good. That's good for the industry.
Of course.
The fact that we consolidated that way actually gives confidence to the traders. Then they will choose who they like the most.
I mean, if
they will do their research, as we said.
If you're putting the human touch on your employees, then the trader can expect that the human touch
they can feel that the guys really care about what is going on to them, because they care about what they are doing. They're just that they, just for KPIs. Okay, I solved 25 ticks in 1 hour. We don't care about that. Yes, but how did you solve it? Is the client happy? Did we solve the problem? Should we go back to them? It's costly, believe me, but I think it's the right way to go.
Cool, very cool. Well, Roberto, thank you for sharing the exclusive news.
I don't know if we have the possibility to talk about that again.
No, it's fine. And
it's the marketing side.
Happy anniversary to you guys.
Thank you very much. Really
thanks for taking the time today to join us. We're very happy to see you, and we hope to see you very soon as well to keep the discussion going. And since you speak Italian, grazie mille.
Okay.
And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great, have a great,
Spasiba.
have a great rest of your time at the EXPO.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
all. Thank you.